The stars twinkled brightly in the crisp December sky, and a blanket of snow covered the town like powdered sugar on a holiday cake. It was Christmas Eve, the night every child eagerly awaited. But this year, something was different. The children weren't just preparing for Santa Claus. No, they had set their sights on a smaller, more mischievous target: Santa's trusty elf. This elf wasn't just any helper. He was quick-witted, graceful, and nearly impossible to catch. "Catch me if you can," the elf grinned, adjusting his green hat with a confident flick. His twinkling eyes sparkled with mischief as he leapt into Santa's sleigh, ready for the adventure ahead. As the sleigh soared over the snowy rooftops, the elf prepared for the challenges that awaited him. "Santa," he said, "I've heard the kids are stepping up their game this year. Their traps will be sneakier, smarter, and he paused for dramatic effect, dangerous." Santa chuckled, his rosy cheeks glowing in the moonlight. "You'll be fine, my friend. Just remember to keep your wits about you. And don't forget ... we're a team." The elf nodded, steeling himself for what was to come. The first house on their list belonged to Emma, a creative and determined 7-year-old who had spent weeks planning her trap. The sleigh landed softly on Emma's roof, the sound muffled by the thick layer of snow. The elf slid down the chimney with ease, landing in the living room with a graceful somersault. He scanned the room, his sharp eyes quickly spotting the glittering tinsel net strung across the doorway. "A tinsel trap? Clever," he muttered, admiring the handiwork. The shimmering strands sparkled under the glow of the Christmas lights, creating an almost magical aura. But magic wasn't enough to stop him. With a nimble leap, the elf somersaulted over the net, landing softly on the other side. "Nice try, Emma," he whispered with a smirk, carefully placing her gift under the tree. As he climbed back up the chimney, he heard a soft giggle. Emma was peeking from her bedroom door, her eyes wide with wonder. The next stop was Jaden's house, where the stakes were higher. Jaden was known for his inventive mind and mischievous streak, and the elf knew this wouldn't be an ordinary trap. As he entered the house, the elf immediately noticed the elaborate contraption in the hallway. It was a double-sided trap, with one side rigged to drop a net and the other to trigger a cascade of glitter. "Oh, Jaden, you've really outdone yourself," the elf said, scratching his chin thoughtfully. He took a cautious step forward, triggering the first mechanism. A net whooshed down from the ceiling, but the elf darted to the side just in time. Unfortunately, this activated the second mechanism, and a burst of glitter exploded into the air, covering the elf from head to toe. "Well, that's just rude," he muttered, shaking off the glitter as best he could. Despite the setback, he managed to place Jaden's gift under the tree and escape unscathed. The elf's next stop was a house filled with sweet temptations. The children here had devised a clever plan: a trail of candy canes leading to a box rigged to trap him inside. The elf's eyes widened at the sight of the gleaming candy canes. "They know my weakness," he said, licking his lips. He took a cautious step forward, his hand hovering over the nearest candy cane. "Just one," he told himself, reaching out. But as soon as he picked it up, the box began to creak. Realizing the danger, he tossed the candy cane aside and leapt backward, narrowly avoiding the trap. "Nice try, kids," he said, wiping a bead of sweat from his brow. "But it'll take more than sugar to catch me." At another house, the elf faced his most explosive challenge yet. The children had rigged the living room with bonbons that would detonate on contact. Santa gently lowered the elf into the room, his red suit blending into the festive decorations. The elf hovered just above the floor, carefully scanning for danger. He spotted the first bonbon, its shiny wrapper glinting menacingly. "If I touch down, this room's going to look like a candy war zone," he muttered. Using his agility, the elf swung from the chandelier, carefully avoiding the bonbons. He landed softly near the tree, delivered the gifts, and climbed back up the chimney just as the first bonbon began to fizzle. A loud boom echoed behind him as he escaped, leaving the room covered in a sugary haze. The most ambitious trap awaited at a family-owned grocery store. The children had transformed the aisles into an elaborate obstacle course, complete with an avalanche of food and a dinner cannon that shot out ham and gravy. As the sleigh approached the store, the elf's radar perked up. "This one's going to be tricky," he told Santa. Inside, chaos awaited. The shelves were rigged with tripwires, and the slightest misstep would send a cascade of cans tumbling down. The elf navigated the maze with care, ducking and dodging as jars of pickles and boxes of cereal narrowly missed him. Just as he thought he was in the clear, the dinner cannon roared to life. A stream of ham and gravy shot through the air, splattering the walls. The elf barely managed to dodge the barrage, diving behind a display of eggnog. "This is madness," he exclaimed, wiping gravy from his face. Despite the chaos, he managed to deliver the gifts and escape the store, leaving a trail of ham-scented footprints behind. As the night drew to a close, the elf and Santa reflected on their journey. "These kids are getting smarter every year," the elf said, his voice tinged with exhaustion. Santa smiled. "And so are you, my friend. Together, we're unstoppable." The sleigh soared into the sky, leaving behind a town filled with wonder and joy. The children's traps had been clever, but none had succeeded. As the elf gazed down at the twinkling lights below, he felt a deep sense of pride. "Merry Christmas, everyone," he whispered, his heart full of holiday cheer.